Obstacles can become life-changing opportunities. In fact, they often provide an extraordinary and unexpected path to growth and greater fulfilment.
In this episode, we share our own personal stories of overcoming some incredibly challenging times and share 7 tips for helping you move through obstacles you may currently be facing so that you can create the life you deeply desire and deserve. Hi, I'm James Davis.
And I'm Claire Davis.
We're the Midlife Mentors, here to lift the lid on how to achieve health and happiness.
The balanced, no-nonsense way.
Hello and welcome to another episode of the Midlife Mentors with me, James.
And me, Claire. How are you all doing out there?
Ooh,
I don't know why I sang that.
Why did you sing that?
I just felt like singing.
We have a good one for you today.
Always.
Obstacle, always. But extra good. This is one really close to our hearts, actually.
Yeah, goodness me.
And I guess it's to do with how you approach life and how you frame your thinking. But we're covering the topic of obstacle or opportunity.
Dun, dun, dun.
Could be a game show. Obstacle or opportunity. So we're going to tell you a couple of stories from our own history.
I
guess,
know.
about when obstacles we flipped them around.
Well, there's constant in
constant.
entrepreneurial life. There is constant. Actually, we've also just been thrown another personal curveball as well, and that's an obstacle. But that's just life. It's life for everyone. So we just wanted to give you some tips. Today, we're going to give you 7 tips around what happens when obstacles come up for you, or if the same obstacle keeps coming up for you over and over again. So if it's a recurring obstacle that keeps coming up, we're going to kind of shed some light on why that might be happening.
Yeah, but before we get into all that...
What have you been up to?
What have we been up to? Wow.
We always like to give you an update.
So much. I think this felt like one of those very long weeks in the best possible way. We've been in Metro newspaper, haven't we?
Oh, no, James has. That was amazing. Talking about restaurants having to label their food with calories, so their meals with calories. That was great.
We've been confirmed in the lineup of the Orbit Fitness Festival.
We have.
Happening in the summer.
Don't know when that is, can't remember. What else have we had? We've been having workplace wellness conversations with corporates.
Yeah, loads of workplace wellness conversations. And actually then an interview I did with Growing Business Intelligence, which is an online resource. They just published that about how to kickstart a well-being program at work.
That was amazing.
So
You're very good.
A lot of
very
conversations.
Proud of you,
in that
Mr.
space.
D. We're also trying out the amazing, I don't know whether you heard of these, but the lumens. We've got a little bit addicted to these. It's very, very dangerous to get addicted to certain technology, but no, we are finding it super, super helpful because actually it's looking at our metabolism and how we burn fat and carbs.
It is. They're fascinating devices. We won't go into it too much here, but I think we probably will end up doing an episode on them at some point.
We will. We'll get. They've asked to. They've actually sent us, gifted us the lumens, which is really amazing and lovely. So we're trying them out. And then obviously we'll feedback on our experience to you guys, but we'll also get someone from Lumen on one of our podcasts, I think, talking about what they're designed to do.
They're amazing. But we're getting some funny looks, obviously, like in our new gym and like finishing your weights and like panting into this little device. Like...
it looks like we're smoking a vape. So, yeah, but they're not the same. We're not literally finishing a workout and then vaping, don't worry.
Of course, we're not getting competitive at all about going, oh, I'm level 1, pure fat burn. What are you, Claire?
We are always competitive, I have to tell you. Always super competitive. And then it's also stress awareness month. So, I don't know whether many of you know this, but I'm a stress management consultant. So this is a really, I used to go into businesses giving stress management talks, tools and all that sort of stuff. So it's something I've always loved, always felt really, really interested in, the impact of stress on our mental, physical and emotional well-being. And we run workshops on the science of stress. It's a really popular one for corporate. So we will be running one for all of you people, lovely people. Anyone who wants to join a workshop, we normally run this one for corporates, as we said, but we're going to actually be running it for you guys. So haven't exactly nailed down the dates yet, but once we do, we will let you know, and we'll also put a link to sign up in the show notes as well. So that'll probably be next week.
Absolutely. And tomorrow we're very excited because tomorrow we are spending the day with Paul McKenna.
We are actually.
Yeah. This is one of those things that we actually were going to do, but it kept being put off for 2 years due to COVID. But it's back on. It's happening tomorrow. We can't wait an entire day with Paul McKenna. So we'll let you know how that goes.
Yeah, we will. James keeps joking that he's going to pull me up on stage and makes me do like chicken impressions or something. I'm like, no, he's a bit more...
Not that kind of event, Claire.
Well, that's what you keep saying. It's a bit more serious than that. Okay, so without further ado, I don't think we've got any more to update you on. So obstacle or opportunity. So we're going to go through 7 tips, or 7 discussion points, really.
We are. I'd like to say something
but
first, though.
First of all, we're going to explain why we wanted to do this.
Yeah. Listen, life is always going to throw us curveballs. These things always come up out the blue that derail our progress, knock us off course.
Would make us lose confidence.
Make us just sit back and go, whoa, question what we're actually doing.
Yeah.
But here's a little mantra we have. Every obstacle is an opportunity for growth. You just have to sit with it and look at it and figure out what it's telling you and what you need to do next.
Yeah, we're going to go into some of that. But I don't know, like James said that he was going to share. It's really vulnerable. I hate that word at the moment. You know, like, oh, let's be vulnerable. We don't need to share our entire life stories, do we, all the time? But actually, I think sometimes, you know, we communities come together. We feel connected through stories, don't we? That's how we've evolved as human beings as well. We connect through stories, and it's really helpful sometimes for if you're able to share your stories to a wider audience, so people don't feel like they're so alone, or don't put people on pedestals. We never want to be put on a pedestal, so to speak. We're experts in our field.
I put you on a pedestal.
We're experts in our field, but we always want to come across as really, really authentic and really, really real. You know, there's enough fake stuff going on out there. So James actually said just before we came on that he wanted to talk about something that happened to him before I even entered his world.
Yeah, so I guess my big story about this was when I originally moved over to Ibiza, I actually bought a wellness centre. Now, unfortunately, it wasn't quite what it purported to be. I won't go into all that, but long story short, we were really struggling not to completely go under. And of course, the idea of having a wellness centre was like there was a residual income for us, and then we could launch holidays off the back. And what I found was having a wellness centre was actually hard to get partnerships with hotels as well. This was all in the first few months. So necessity is mother of invention. The short version of this is rather than having a wellness centre which would have gone under and we not had holidays, I managed to position with a 5-star hotel that we really wanted to work with, that I would shift our whole operation to there. So they would benefit from having an in-house wellness centre. We'd bring in our expertise, our classes, our equipment, all the rest of it, because they only had a very basic gym. And the return for that would be that we would launch fitness holidays together. And of course, that is how 38 Degrees North was born, how we've won multiple awards that's come. So that's something that came, a success that came from really a desperate situation of disaster. By rather than going, okay, I've taken a lot of punches here, I'm on my way down, but like I've still got something in the tank. Let's see what we can do. Let's find a way to make this work and do it. And that's what we did.
And I just want to say on the record here, like, this is one of the reasons I fell in love with James so deeply, is because he's so resilient and he's so resourceful, and he will always pick himself back up again. He's my hero in that sense. You know, like, we've both been through a lot of ups and downs, a lot of obstacles, but to meet someone that turned I know all the ins and outs of it, and to know what he went through and the trauma actually that caused, to see him come out the way that he did is truly inspiring. I mean, it still fills me with absolute or the way that he did that. So I'm getting upset. So yeah, I just wanted to say on the record that it's
Oh, bless you.
it's an amazing thing. It's one of the reasons I love you so much. But also, more recently, we've talked about this in a couple of podcasts potentially a while ago. But obviously, when the pandemic hit everyone, so many people suffered. So we are not the only ones. And it could have been a lot worse for us. But we had a bumper year booked for our fitness holidays in 2020. We were at like 85% sold out for the entire year, right?
It was looking like the best year ever.
We were like, oh my God, this is amazing. All of our hard work. Because, businesses go up and down. We'd had some really good years. We'd had a few difficult years where we'd moved locations, stuff like that. Attracted actually not necessarily the right clients. But we'd had 2 years of amazingness, and 2020 was looking just like tickety-boo. And I love that, tickety-boo. And then what happened?
The world shut down.
The world shut down.
The world shut for business.
We had a travel business, essentially. Like, people couldn't travel. So, we had that money sitting in our bank. We are sensible with that. We had everyone's deposit sitting there, but some people had paid in full. So that's sitting there, and we made the decision to give it all back. Not tell people that they were going to be booked on the next retreat when the world opened again, because that would have just kicked the can down the road, and we just didn't want that looming over us. So we decided to give everyone their money back. But you can imagine where that left us, can't you? It was, again, pretty scary, hairy times. But luckily we were already doing a bit of online stuff. So I remember just sitting there thinking, okay, this is an opportunity to grow. Like, we are really going to have to... We'd already dibbly-dabbling around in the online world, and we'd already created some content and stuff, and we'd already done a beta test of the Midlife method, but we were just doing unnecessary tweaks and all this stuff. We just had to get it out there, because when the chips are down, you just have to make an opportunity from the obstacle.
Yeah, I would say, actually, just thinking there, two amazing things came out of that. Obviously, we pivoted hard into the online, like Claire was saying, and built like a really successful business now with the Midlife mentors, and get all these wonderful clients through, which is amazing. The other thing we did, actually, because I think, when did we lock down? Was it the end of March or even the beginning of April?
March.
And our next retreat that we're meant to be running was, of course, our Easter retreat, traditionally one of our biggest. And we sat there and we're like, it's not going to happen.
I forgot this.
And again, rewind a bit. At the time we did this, we could not find anyone else in the world doing it. Claire and I were like, let's run a virtual retreat.
No, we're serious, guys. Like, you kind of think, oh my, how could you have been the first?
Doing it.
How could you have been the first one?
And we were like, even how we do it. And we looked, should we do it this way? Should we do it? We said, in the end, we'll make it really simple. We'll create a Facebook group. Everything will happen in there. We pulled in other experts that we knew that we would be entertaining, and we did the whole thing for free. And
then we
brought in so many people to our business. Then we kept running those all through lockdown.
We did them for charity as well. Yeah. So we did them for London Zoo. We did them for a men's mental health charity. We did them for some other charities as well. We then got ourselves in the Evening Standard because of that. We got ourselves in Vitality. We got ourselves in the Metro. Even the Telegraph, I think, covered us.
Yeah, and we received so many messages from people who were like, this is just what I needed. This has really
helped
lift me up, kept me sane. Yeah. Having that connection by actually interacting with people about something positive. So, yeah, some great things. That's another example of, a doomsday situation from a business perspective. But some great stuff came out of us, because we actually looked at, like, what can we do with this? Coming
from the heart, and actually, like, how can we serve people? Because actually, just one of the things we're going to talk about is, like, what you focus on grows, right? So if we're going to just sit there thinking, oh my goodness, this is a disaster, but actually what we decided to do was, like, how can we help other people? We have each other. It wasn't, we weren't bankrupt, we didn't have premises, so we tried to look for all the good things in our lives still, and then came from a heart-centred place of how can we serve people that are going through a really difficult time, because we have the toolkit, we have everything, we have the background, the professional background, the experience to help people through this tough time, so that's what we decided to do.
Yeah.
So, without further ado...
Let's talk about these 7 steps. The first one... Figure out what it is that's holding you back. Is it an environment, a person, a job that's taking all the time? We've all been there. We suddenly find like one thing, one aspect of our life seems to be consuming everything and colouring everything. Is it lack of finances? What is in your control?
What's this obstacle? Like, What's holding you back from moving through this obstacle?
Exactly. Ask yourself, when you're making excuses, because what happens is the obstacle will come, or use the excuse, oh, there's a pandemic, therefore I can't run holidays, therefore I can't do anything. Are they just excuses because you don't trust yourself to see the thing you want to do through?
Yeah, absolutely.
It's important to be really honest. Excuses are not serving you. I did a post on this today. Your excuses do not serve you. When you're making excuses, you're excusing yourself, but that's not contributing to your own growth and power.
Yeah, and take responsibility, I would say, for where you're at. There are certain things outside our control, but they're quite rare, actually, like a pandemic. But, they're quite rare, but there's always something that you can do. So do take responsibility for looking at that obstacle, see what's really, really coming up, and actually ask yourself how you can take control of that situation.
Yeah, but I get it. Listen, I get it. Because when we hit that obstacle, it can be something that's just, all there all the time, all consuming, that we just feel we can't move past, or it can be something that comes out the blue, like the pandemic, which can be overwhelming and can knock you into this kind of paralysis. But actually, just acknowledging that there are things you can do is a great way to start taking control. One of the things we're saying all through the pandemic is give yourself perceived control by setting up routines, doing things. Same with an obstacle. Things are going to come at you in life, but then it's about how you choose to react to them and move with them.
Absolutely, I'm into that. Number 2 is think about the history of this obstacle. Is it something that it's been there for many years? Is it an obstacle that's just been there and you haven't felt like you can move through it? You haven't made any inroads to moving through it? Is it or is it just recurring? Is it the same obstacle? Is there a common theme, a recurring theme, a similar obstacle coming up and up and up? And here's the thing. Ask yourself, how long has that been in your path? And what behaviours, this is really, really important, what behaviours or negative thoughts or habits are keeping that obstacle alive in your experience or preventing you from working through it? So how long has it been in your path? Why do you think that is? I'll tell you why it is. Mostly it's because of your thought patterns, your habits, that's keeping it alive and preventing you from working through it. Answering these kinds of questions is going to help you identify the changes you need to make in your thinking and therefore shift your behaviour.
Yeah, let's give you an example of this. Is the obstacle like, oh, I haven't got any money to do the thing I want to do right now. Now, why did that occur? Did you just simply make an investment that went wrong, which can happen to anyone that's pivoting? Or is it a continual story in your life? Like, you're like, I've never got any money, I've never got any money. Like Claire, always made terrible choices in men.
Still do. No, I'm joking. You asked for that.
So just have a look at that. Is it something that's come as a one-off thing which you can react to, or is it something that maybe you need to look a bit deeper and make some changes in your belief systems around?
Yeah, absolutely. It's so important, like the belief systems. There's something, I have to say, one of the reasons we wanted to do this was because there is something coming up for me and for James at the moment. And it's pretty recurring. We've done lots and lots of work on it. We've made huge leaps and bounds on it, but there's still, annoyingly, something that keeps coming up over and over again that scuppers our growth, basically. So around that, we're looking at our belief systems. It's completely to do with that belief system that's manifesting itself in our reality. So we all experience it, and it's a never-ending job to keep looking at that stuff. There's always going to be obstacles coming up, and actually looking at your belief system around that is really, really important and essential to your growth. Next one.
Yeah, be careful what you focus on.
Oh, now this is really important.
It's obviously, again, we've been there. It's so easy to obsess on the actual obstacle itself, right? But when you do that, you're giving it power, and it just grows and grows and grows till it does become overwhelming. What you give attention to expands. So rather than focusing on the obstacle itself, start focusing on the solutions around it. Put your attention on what you do have and building a new future. Look at visualising your life beyond the obstacle. What does that look like? What does that feel like? What are the options that are open to you? Rather than just being, feeling you're in a dead-end alley with this thing is in front of you. Like, okay, where are the doorways? Where can I go with this?
Yeah, absolutely. Again, we experienced that so much during the pandemic. The next one is, this is so important, and so many of us miss this, right? Get support and surround yourself with the right people, okay? I'm not necessarily saying buy into a coach, buy into a mentor, all that sort of stuff. But surrounding yourself with the right people that aren't energy vampires, that have actually kind of got through the obstacle that you are currently faced with, is really empowering. It's really inspiring. And here's the thing, you level up your energy to meet them. You either get your energy pulled down by certain people that surround you, or you move into the energy field, into the energy space of those people that have moved through that obstacle. And it's like osmosis. It just starts seeping into you. I have to say, when people come onto the Midlife Method program, a lot of people say they like being around our energy because they level up to our positivity. They level up to the inspiration that we offer them, and they match it. And we have people that we feel the same around that have moved through obstacles that we haven't yet. We level up. We love kind of this self-development thing. We love being in the arena with people that have moved through that obstacle because we level up to their energy. It's an amazing, amazing way to see things a lot more clearly and start making inroads.
Yeah, I'll say there's a couple of sides to this. If you've identified your potential way ahead or ways ahead, then you start looking for people that have done it, right? Because it might be, oh yeah, I can see that I can do this, but I don't really know how to do it. So you can leverage their expertise, their experience. Like us we're mentoring like people to run retreats now, which is amazing, and we're loving doing it. They're getting so much value from it.
I love doing that.
And they're like, we're throwing up things they never even thought of. We're like, you need to do this, you need to do that. So yeah, look for ways. The other thing to do, if you're stuck in your obstacle, you're the sum of the 5 people you hang out with. So if you're sat around the pub table with 5 mates all moaning about how awful this thing is and one's seeing a way forward, guess what? There is no way forward. Yeah. So look to find inspiration as well. Be
really, really conscious of this one, really conscious. The next one, number 5, is...
make your success inevitable. So this is a mindset thing. I always say, what would you do if you knew you couldn't fail? We get so hung up on catastrophizing and going, well, what if this goes wrong? What if this goes wrong? What if this goes wrong? What if it went right?
Well, you're asking the wrong questions, basically. So what if it went well? What if it went wrong? I'm investing in this. I'm investing my time, energy and money in this. What if it went wrong? Well, no, that's the wrong question. What happens? What does your life look like when it goes right?
It's a fascinating thing about the human brain, right? It's because it's our subconscious is designed to keep us safe, and like from an evolutionary perspective, taking risks was a bad move. So our brain will do everything to keep us locked in our comfort blanket, even if it's very distressing for us, right? Because you're safe, you're surviving. But, you deserve more. So rather than thinking about that, and what happens if I fail, what happens if I get it right? And one thing when I'm working with clients, get them to do is like, okay, you're thinking about this thing, if you fail, like write down what are the worst outcomes if you fail. Then when you've got those, actually write down how you'll get out of those they become the next obstacle, right? How would you get out of that? And by actually acknowledging that those fears are there, and then going, well, actually, it wouldn't be so bad if that happened because I can do X, Y, Z. You calm your subconscious, and you'll feel more empowered to take the jump.
Yeah, just believe in yourself. I mean, just believe in yourself. It's easier said than done, but believe that you deserve and believe that you can and that you are worthy to move past this obstacle to get to your desires. Because other people have, why can't you? There's another question. Other people have, why not me? The next one, number 6, big one, expect discomfort. So when you are turning an obstacle into an opportunity, get used to walking alongside discomfort.
Oh, yes.
We've done a whole podcast on another level, another devil. It can feel really, really uncomfortable for us when we reach the obstacle and we start making inroads to move through it. You're never, ever going to avoid the discomfort that growth will bring you. It is just absolutely inevitable. So actually asking yourself, like, what is this trying to teach me? So when you're experiencing this discomfort, just know, like, what is this trying to teach me? I know that if I walk hand in hand, instead of running in the opposite direction, if I walk hand in hand with the fear and the discomfort, I know that I'm going to become more used to this relationship that I have with discomfort and fear. And actually, I tell you what, it does get easier. Your relationship with fear and discomfort, we never get rid of it. You can't get rid of it. And actually trying to get rid of it is futile, and what you focus on grows. So if you're trying to push it away, it's just going to get even bigger and scarier and kind of like say boo in the night. But actually what you want to do is get comfortable with being uncomfortable. Get comfortable with feeling the fear and doing it anyway, because it then becomes part of who you are. You trust yourself more. You believe in yourself more to be able to see things more clearly. I know that's the same for us. We take way more risks now because of kind of what James has just said. You over-catastrophize what might happen, and actually, once you take that risk and start moving through the discomfort and moving through the fear, you realise that you've actually got yourself in a right little pickle, and it's not as bad as you think. So you trust yourself and believe in yourself to take more and more risks. But don't ever think for 1 second that you are going to be able to create an opportunity out of an obstacle without feeling uncomfortable.
No, exactly that. Last point here. Take small steps to start with, because the thing is, like, going back to that point on discomfort, if you try and leap too far too fast, the discomfort is going to be probably unbearable. The fear will be overwhelming. So, start with those small steps, but once you're up and running, we always say momentum breeds momentum. Those steps can get bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger, and then you can start making the leaps.
The most important thing is to be consistent, right? It doesn't matter. Like, no one really, in business, in life, whatever, just take each day as it comes. Think, what can I do today? And if that's too much, what can I do in the next hour? What can I do in the next moment? Don't look at the entire high mountain. Don't look at the top of the mountain and think, oh my goodness, it's so overwhelming, I'm rowing in the opposite direction. Just break it down moment to moment, hour by hour, day by day. No one expects you to have this all figured out straight away, but what you don't want to do is stop. Do not become so fearful and so scared of going outside your comfort zone that you just stay inert. Tiny little steps. Do whatever you can to start turning that obstacle into an opportunity, and you will. It's those incremental changes that win the day. It's not the big ones ever. No matter what anyone tells you, it's that the iceberg. It's all that stuff underneath that you don't see. You just see the tip of it, but it's all those incremental things, that the habits, the thought processes, the tiny little things that you do, the routines that you do every single day that start moving you towards an opportunity.
Exactly that. I hope you found that inspiring, useful.
We love doing that one.
We'd love to hear what obstacles you're moving through or feel inspired to move through off the back of this.
Yeah, let us know what you thought. This is a real passion of ours. Obviously, we told some personal stories there. So reach out to us if you feel comfortable. Tell us your personal stories of overcoming an obstacle and making it an opportunity. Or just reach out and let us know what you're going through at the moment. We do love to hear from you. And that's about it, really. If you're ever interested, by the way, we don't really say this very much at the end of our podcast, but if you are interested in finding out a little bit more about the Midlife Method program, which is absolutely life-changing in body, mind and soul. We get so many wonderful testimonials, and it's because we really, really come at this from an authentic place. So, and a no-nonsense place. So if you are interested to find out more, you can always book a completely free call. It's a 15-minute call. You're not obliged to work with us. We'll just actually see if we're a good fit. So if you do want to book that call with us, please do. We'd love to meet you. We'll put the link to book that call inside the show notes. And I just wanted to let you know that that's how you can get hold of us.
We love chatting to people on the phone. So yes, or via the wonders of technology, Zoom, Skype. Yeah, so do reach out if you'd like to have a chat with us.
And we are sending you so much love. You take care.
Have a fabulous week.
Bye.
Yeah.
You've been listening to the Midlife Mentors with Claire and James Davis.
We'd love to hear from you. So drop us a line at info@themidlifementors.com with any questions or topic suggestions.
And make sure you join us on our Facebook page and YouTube channel. You can find us under the Midlife Mentors.
Yeah.